Good morning, Fortune City. Chip Morrissey here with your breakfast update. It is a beautiful 75 degrees outside, the sun is shining, and things are as they should be. Don't believe me? Just look out your window. See the beautiful clockwork of civilization. Every person knows their purpose, every purpose has its place. Sure, there are those who would focus on the shortcomings and flaws inherent in humanity, like the so-called Operation Whole Truth or the Doomsday Prophets at the Fortune City Starlight. Still don't know how they got clearance for that name. But your friends here at Dixon Millennium Studios and MDNR know that all the scaremongering is just a cheap attempt to besmirch the glory of our fair city. Ah, Fortune City, the jewel of the Mojave. A new Babylon, green amongst the sands. You know, it's like they say, if we're not perfect, we'll get there soon. And it's true, listener. It's true. We'll get there. As long as everyone pitches in and does their fair share, the clocks will tick, and we'll get there. After all, if it's not true, why would I say it? Welcome to Roll Dice and Cry, the actual play podcast where we roll dice and you cry.
And we will also cry.
And we will also cry. My name is Zachary Fredrickson. You can find me on Twitter at ObfuscatingGod. I am joined today by my friends. And the first of those friends, whose name I will say out loud to you, is Sloan.
Oh, hello. My name is Sloan, and I was there last time, so you know that. And my Twitter changed, and it is _ Sloan Zone. I had to look it up because I forgot. And Tumblr is also that. So
fantastic. Is there an underscore on the Tumblr as well?
Yes.
All right. Cool.
No, wait. No, there isn't. There isn't.
Okay.
No, there isn't. I was thinking of Instagram. So Sloan Zone for Tumblr _ Sloan Zone for Twitter.
Right.
Quick intro there from me.
Very good. Also, we have Mari Costa.
Hi, I'm Mari. My Twitter is still Marinskos, and you can still find my webcomic at fairytale.com.
Woo! Emily Riesbeck.
Hi, I'm Emily. My Twitter is still the Blue Valkyrie, and you can still read my webcomic at bluevalkyriecomic.tumblr.com, but we're getting a new site soon, so I'm going to have to update you on that.
Nice. Awesome. And finally, Nikita.
Hi, I'm Nikita. I am still at Chander on Twitter, and the rest of my internet presence does not matter. Do not try to find me. I'm invisible.
All right. Fantastic.
A challenge.
A challenge. Yes, as has been stated, implied by some of our cast members, this is the second season of Roll Dice and Cry. It's not on the shoulders of giants. It's a different one. We're here to play Third Eye Investigation. Investigations. Multiple. Also, since it's our first time talking to you in this season, if you might have picked it up this time, let's just go around real quick and say our pronouns so that people know. Listeners. We know each other's, but, good to know. Zachary, he, him.
Sloan, she, her.
Mari, she, her as well.
Emily, they, them.
Nikita, they, them.
All right. And now we know. So, yes, we are playing a new season. We're starting a new season today. That season is called Third Eye Investigations. It is a detective game. And what game do you play detectives in?
Gumshoe.
Gumshoe. That's what I was going to say.
The Sprawl.
Shadowrun. You don't
Shadowrun.
Shadowrun.
Sometimes Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah, definitely
yeah.
Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
We are playing all of those.
You can play a detective
At
in
the
Dungeons and
same
Dragons for
time.
sure.
We are kind of playing some of those. No, but what we are actually playing, for the most part, is Blades in the Dark, which is a game by... Yep.
This is the first time hearing of this.
Blades in the Dark by John Harper. We are also taking advantage of Vigilantes, a Blades playset by Sean Nittner. That is how we are making it so that we are playing as detectives rather than scoundrels, which is what Blades in the Dark is standardly built for. Also, an additional hack we're using is one that I wrote called Eyes in the Dark, which is investigative mechanics for Blades in the Dark, which draws from the Gumshoe investigative roleplay system. We are just fucking it right up.
Hopefully for good.
Are there also mechs in this one?
Yes, actually.
Hey!
Wait, what?
But they are
Define mech.
it is there are robots that can have cockpits. So
Ooh,
that is an option in a certain playbook.
that's the goal.
And within
We
this,
just can't stay away from those robots.
I do love robots. So Third Eye Investigations it will be a detective game. It will be a band of intrepid private investigators in a place called Fortune City, which is a sort of alternate universe, alternate history Las Vegas in the late 1950s. Kind of like Las Vegas, kind of like Disneyland, kind of like a lot of different utopian sort of city ideals.
It's perfect. It's good. It's good there. There's nothing. There's really no crimes.
It is definitely trying to be the best, or pretending that it's the best.
What's crime? What are
Zero
homeless
crimes.
people? We drop homeless people off at our city limits.
That's like
That's something
grimly
Orange County
true,
does.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Rough.
Oh.
So yes, so
Yikes.
obviously this city is not all it's cracked up to be, and that exploring the cracks in that veneer will be part of what we're doing here. But also, it's like stylish and paranormal, supernatural. It's Blades in the Dark, so there are ghosts, there are spirits, there's weird technology. In Blades, it's kind of steampunky, and here it's more of like a diesel punky style. And that's what we're going to try to talk about a little bit. To start out, let's broad strokes, big picture, talk about the city and the people who live within it.
We gotta upload this map because it looks real good. Has all
Thank
the
you.
little streets on it and stuff.
I spent a long time on this map. Thank you for saying it's good. It is. The city is split up into 10 districts with 3 additional satellite districts. If we're talking just big picture, there's the administrative district, the old money, entertainment, university, industrial, the Belle Village, which is like a tech area. There's the commercial zone, the suburbs, working class, and then attached via rail to the city are Hargrave Penitentiary, a private prison. So we got that good.
So this is gonna suck right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Yeah, this is it at its worst. Wilkes Water and Power is the water and power processing plant that supplies power. Then there's also the farm, which is the agriculture and resource department. Some of you have districts under your purview that I said, hey, you get to pick districts and describe them and tell me what's in them and how they work. Who would like to go first on those?
No, I just wanted to. I'm not sure if you had said it already, but I just wanted to clarify that this is like a, kind of like City of the Future in the desert of Nevada, right?
Yeah, it is in the middle of the desert, but it is green and it is always the perfect temperature. Mm-hmm. It's this very glittering. We're kind of got pre-fall Rapture vibes. There was
kind
another
of like pre-war Fallout vibes, yeah.
Yeah, pre-war Fallout vibes as well. Very gleaming, very glittering. A lot of convenience and technological convenience for those of means within the city. It's very much like all of those futurist, speculative paintings from that period of like, this is what the city of the future will look like. All of that kind of goes into this.
So once again, knowing nothing about a science, I have decided to do a science. The district under my purvey was Belle Village. And it's a mathematically neat neighborhood that nevertheless manages to be oddly cluttered and fades slowly from more to less respectable. And I was thinking more respectable is probably closer to the entertainment district and the administrative zone. So it kind of like goes from being respectable in the center and on the edge of one side to just bad as it nears like industrial and commercial zones. So on one side of it does stand a commercial plaza. Oddly, I don't think it's in the commercial. It's next to the commercial zone. I think it's probably closer to the entertainment district because I feel like that kind of tracks more for what this commercial plaza is, which is it sells mainly luxury goods on the tech side of things. But there's also stuff that you generally find in malls, like, you know, there's independent vendors setting up booths and kiosks, or just wandering around and demonstrating their goods and abilities. You can buy anything from a cool, fancy sci-fi watch to like a robot to whatever. There's a lot of stuff there. It's basically just a mall, but fancy. And just beyond the plaza, circling it are a few corporate kind of skyscrapers. And the interiors are a mix of offices to keep the companies running and laboratories. Laboratories? I don't know. Working on developing and testing various new technologies before sending them out to factories for mass production. And then the skyscrapers slowly peter out into like headquarters for smaller company, and it's kind of all downhill from there. And the rest of the district consists mainly of multi-story buildings, more often than not with various shops, businesses and workshops on the ground floor, and living quarters above. While it's where most tech-oriented folk make their home, due to the proximity with jobs and the industry, there are also other folks and businesses there, so it's not just like a commune of mad scientists. There's normal people, too. And the district is rounded out with various warehouses and storage lots that often double as workshops, kind of blending into the industrial and commercial zones.
All right. And so part of that might have perked some people's ears up. They sell robots here. There are robots in this setting, of various kinds. In Blades in the Dark, it was like there are things called hulls, which are like specially magically prepared automatons that are inhabited by spirits. And while that exists here, there are also just robots.
Mm-hmm.
Very Fallout in terms of like their variety. There's like, you know, maintenance droids and like secretarial stuff and security stuff and construction stuff, and those all flow from a couple distinct factions.
Oh, should I talk about the factions?
I don't know.
Or let's do that later.
We can probably
do all the districts first, and then all the factions, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
Who's next?
I should also say the city itself is fairly new. It is like 10 years old. The building of it was a huge undertaking from a lot of different forces, but the current power in the city is a company called Fortune Industries, which is one of the two brains behind the city. It is his posthumous corporation, which is run by the other builder of the city. There were two people, Harrison Morrow and Calvin Fortune, who built the city together, or at least that's what, you know, history says. That's what the official record says, is that they were the driving force behind it. And so all of this kind of flows from them and the deals they made and the people that they worked with.
I could do my district next.
Yeah, speaking of the people that they worked with.
Oh. Well, I don't know how much I want to go into that right. We'll wait for the faction. But I developed the entertainment district of the city, which I didn't really... Did we ever come up with a name for it? I couldn't think of anything that I super liked.
Not definitively, no.
Sure.
But
I've been
we can
calling
always
it...
come up with stuff.
I've been, like, loosely calling it Gomorrah, but that's a little bit, like, on the nose. So the entertainment district is... It's the Strip, basically, if in terms of Las Vegas. But where Las Vegas' Strip is, like, this very open, strip in the middle of the city, the entertainment district in Fortune City is, like, packed like sardines. Buildings, like, right next to each other, no alleyways between them, winding streets that go, like, sometimes nowhere, sometimes they go right to the, main hub. Flashing lights everywhere. So, you know how casinos, especially in Vegas, they have, like, all sorts of lights on the inside and not a lot of windows, so you don't really know what time it is? Imagine that, but the entire district is like that. So it's completely built to be this, like, dizzying tourist trap, basically. There's casinos that are open 24 hours and just a lot of cacophony of, like, noise and, like, flashing lights. There's hotels, bars, brothels, any sort of vice you have, you can get it in the entertainment district of Fortune City. There's also a lot of drug use and drug dealing going on under the table. This is all very actively encouraged by the casinos because pretty much all of the casinos are run by mobs or organized crime families in some set or another. There are several different organized crime families, but and they do fight over territory in the entertainment district, but they purposely try to keep their fighting, like, low key and not, like, open warfare in the streets. And that's because they recognize that they have a really good deal right now where they can run their casinos, like, get money from them while also laundering money using them, like, create and fabricate and distribute drugs through them, get sorts of all sorts of crime. And as long as they're not openly, combating it, it seems like the police are fine to just let them, be them. So all the organized crime in the city has a uneasy understanding that it's in everyone's best interest to mostly keep the peace, but that doesn't stop, like, a lot of under the table shit. Oh, there's also sports betting.
Lots of sports betting.
That's right. I'm sorry. I forgot a very important part. So to get around this and to fight, like, in a different way, a lot of the families or crime organizations try to, like, lobby for, like, regulations on shit that they don't do. So, like, if your rival does a lot of sports betting, you'll lobby for regulations against that so that they make less money, so that they're pushed out, so that you can take over their territory. So stuff like that.
Okay, I dig that.
And I imagine, like, the
drama.
I imagine the look being, like, a mixture of Times Square and, like, Kowloon Walled City, very, like, tightly packed, but with all these, like, bright neon lights.
That's sick. Love
Thank
it.
you.
Very good.
All right. Yes, and the entertainment also has, like, leisure in it. I hadn't really thought much about it, but I do think that there's a baseball stadium somewhere in there.
Sure, that sounds awesome. Yeah. Hell yeah, let's get a baseball stadium in there.
I just kind of love baseball. It's as a concept, even if I don't like watching it, and so I wanted to make sure that had a place in the city.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So who wants to talk about the district next?
I'll go next. My district is the Old Money District, and that is where the rich people, but also they're old probably, live. The aesthetic is very much just because it backs right onto the forest, is behind it and next to it there. So
I actually wasn't sure if it was behind it or above it. Like, it might be like an elevated.
Ooh, like, that's also good for the aesthetic, because the aesthetic is very literally Great Gatsby, like, and the Great Gatsby mansion is like this big grand thing surrounded by lots of trees, and it has lots of big green lawns. So it's like very green and very grand. So if the forest is raised up behind it, that just is sort of going to add to that look.
No, I mean the old money district is above the forest.
Oh, okay, it's above the forest. That's even better.
Yeah.
Looking down on all of their trees.
I'd imagine the city is having a lot of verticality. There's a lot of like monorails and like loops and like highways around the city. If you've ever driven through, this is like a big thing in Arizona. I don't know if it is anywhere else, but like big like interstate highway intersections where there's like a dozen different highways going in different directions, and they all loop around each other like Hot Wheels.
Oh, shit.
With like bridges and shit?
Yeah, like overpasses, underpasses, and they're all like kind of very intricately...
Like Hot Wheels is a very fun way to describe it.
yeah, all kind of woven together. And so I imagine there's it's a big city, and it's very dense. There's a lot of skyscrapers and stuff. And I imagine like there are also just raised buildings in raised areas where it's like, this is a city block that is 200, 300 feet in the air above everything else that you just have to take a monorail or drive a car into because you can't walk there.
Oh my god. Not to be that bitch, but have y'all seen Altered Carbon?
I saw 2 episodes of it. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, it's bad, but they do have these like skyscrapers where each floor of the skyscraper is like huge as hell, and then it's like an estate. There's like a house and a huge ass lawn there, and that feels a lot like part of this aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And like, so, the old money district is like entirely raised, and you can see the whole city around you.
Literally above everyone.
Literally above everyone. Like they go into the commercial district and the administrative district from their own special highways and rails.
Of course. Hell yeah.
And I actually sorry, not to interrupt, I have a question about the old money district, and it's that in this map, the space of the little houses seems fairly proportional to the middle class and the working class districts. Like, it feels like the houses would be much bigger than this.
Yes. So if we're looking at this map, which I will have to post now because we're talking about it in detail,
yes.
these like big lots on the ends,
yes.
on the outer arc, I figured like those would be like big mansions and estates, and then
yes.
like the inner stuff might be like boutiques or high-end.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Commercial
I was like,
stuff.
whoa, that's a lot of rich people.
Also,
too many.
Too many rich people.
Gotta eat them.
The buildings in the middle class district could also be, multiple families living
like
in
apartment
one
blocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, I made this map myself over several hours of just drawing rectangles in various shapes.
Sure.
So, I mean, it is supposed to be representative, but like, not necessarily one-to-one.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like that's how many mansions there are. There's probably like big mansions.
Big mansions.
Because that's the other thing. Mansions also have big estates, like lots of land.
Plots.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. LOL, lots of land.
Yes. And they're rich people, so they like to do rich people things. They like to hunt, they like to throw big Gatsby parties, and they like to drive around in very nice cars. That's all rich people like.
Rich people love it. And
if
especially
there was water, they would have boats, but they're in the desert.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was part of why I put the forest next to the old money district, because I think like all those rich hunters can just go down to the forest. It's like a big nature preserve.
Mm-hmm.
Except not very preserved because
hunting.
Because hunting, yeah. Fantastic. To shoot. Love to throw parties.
That's like... What do we know about rich people? They like to throw parties, they like to drive cars, and they like to... what was the third one?
Hunt. Shoot things.
Hunt.
Sure, they like to hunt. That's actually like tracks with my experience of rich people.
Mm-hmm. All right.
They like to drink expensive wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they like to go into the entertainment district and gamble, but they're like, oh, how quaint, we're in the entertainment district. Like,
this isn't like my personal
We're being
casino.
bad today.
Your money's just as good as everybody else's, so no complaints.
oh,
Yeah.
they think it's better though.
That's okay. The house always wins either way.
All right, cool. And that's the Old Money District. I don't think they call it the Old Money District. There's probably names for a lot of these districts that we just haven't come up with yet. But
Yes.
we can figure it out as we go along.
Everybody else calls it the Old Money District.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or snobs roll like in Arizona. We've got a place called Scottsdale, which is where a lot of rich people live. So everyone else just calls it Snotsdale
Yeah.
or Snobsdale. Yeah, that's great.
I just remembered I remember the not so nice name that we have for one of the villages in near where I grew up. I'm not going to repeat it, but it made me laugh.
Okay.
It's a little bit mean.
No worries. All right. We have many more districts, but only one other that has been granted, that has been levied upon a player character.
My city now.
Yes. Tell us about your city, Mari.
So my city is the working class district, and so I spent a chunk of time thinking about it, and I was like, what can I possibly do to a working class district? And I feel like I was thinking about it in very American terms because that's what we went with, but my city now, so I can do whatever I want with it. So I think it's like my hometown a little bit. So I grew up in Brazil, and I grew up in like an island off the coast of Rio de Janeiro, and it's basically like pretty poor. There's like a military base next to it, and it's mostly like upward buildings. Like there's very little houses. And so everyone just kind of piles up on top of each other. And there's like, do you guys know what favelas are?
Yes.
Yes, okay. There's favelas there, and I thought about it a little bit, and it's because, so this is a true story of a thing that I've seen on the internet. There was an artist who went to Brazil and drew some favelas and was like, oh, these are so quaint and like beautiful and colorful because all the buildings are all different colors and stuff. And like the poorest people live there, obviously, and they're not quaint and beautiful. But that's probably how like the old money district sees the working class district and like even the middle class. It was like real shitty of them, but I was just like, that's a good thing that I can use to shame rich people.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Fuck rich people.
This is
Fuck
what
rich
we're.
people.
No, I'm joking. Rich people, we love you. My PayPal is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
Yeah,
If you want to donate to our Patreon, then yeah.
Hey.
We don't have a Patreon.
Rich people
Assuage
never
your
think they're
rich
rich is a
guilt.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me money for this specific thing that I had to see on the internet about my hometown.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the real part of it. The fun fantasy magic part of it is that there's fantasy magic inside. So this is where all of, like, the witches and like most of like the ghosts and stuff live. And there's more of those. There's vampos at some point.
There are vampos.
There are vampos and there's werewolves and they mostly live here. And that's all I have to say about the working class district.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone has anything to add. I thought about it just now.
No, that's
Well,
good.
we do know that werewolves live in another area as
Right.
well. But
Yeah.
This is actually a question that I had. So, Blades in the Dark, right? It's got ghosts. It's got vampires, but their vampires are kind of a mix of classic vampires and like revenants, because they are corpses possessed by ghosts. And there's demons and there's old gods. Do we also have demons and old gods, or do we have other things? What is the extent of our magic, fantasy, weird bullshit that exists in this world?
I mean, there could be demons and old gods, but like they don't have to play a huge role in things, I suppose, unless we want them to.
Certainly. I do have
I like
some demon stuff in my faction notes, but not a lot, and it's not very
Sure.
overstated.
Yeah.
I think
I like the
keeping
idea
that
of them
door
being
open
there.
would be fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
keeping that door open would be fun.
I feel like having too much like demonic, like I love the idea of having them as an option, but I feel like going too far into because Blades in the Dark's got kind of a Cthulhu kind of vibe going. Yeah,
Yeah, it's got Cthulhu, Dishonored, super heavy Dishonored vibes.
I feel like leaning too far into that overtly kind of undercuts the sort of City of Tomorrow kind of feel we've got going on, because I feel like a lot of that like post-war City of Tomorrow stuff was very much like unrelated. Well, no, never mind. I forget that. Abandon the thought.
I mean, I like the idea of them being there, but I like the idea of it being like an obscure, fantastical thing that a lot of people think is fake, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. And that absolutely. Another thing that came up, at least in one write-up, was aliens.
I
want
on one hand,
I want to nix aliens.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
On one hand,
Whoa. Hold on. We're like 20 minutes away from Roswell in our game. We're gonna nix aliens?
What?
Roswell,
Yeah,
New Mexico.
Nevada, Roswell is.
It's
Oh wait,
very
Roswell's
close.
in New Mexico. Well, it's pretty close. It's in the desert.
listen,
Apologies
on
to
one
New
hand,
Mexico.
in my soul, I need aliens in everything. On the other hand, and this is a question I don't ask a lot, is that too much?
It gives me like, I don't know if anyone watched the season of American Horror Story where they were in the asylum, but there was so much going on. They were like, and then there was zombies, and then there was aliens, and then there was an angel of death, and then there was this. Like, there wasn't a one thing about it. And if we're gonna add too many things, it's gonna start feeling like that for me.
We don't want to be supernatural.
Right. I think to me, adding aliens to this like paranormal-ish more mood is the same thing as like when they added dinosaurs to D&D. It just killed it for me.
You know what?
Dinosaurs have always been there, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. I actually never liked dinosaurs in D&D either. I am on your side. I almost never use them.
I've never used it.
Yeah,
Almost never is worse than never.
Hold on. I don't use them. I cannot stop my players from picking
true.
like polymorph
fair.
and polymorphing into a T-Rex.
I just can't
That's
imagine
fair.
why everyone would ever be like, I'm going to polymorph into a big lizard and not choose a dragon. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Well,
I can live without aliens. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm sure at someday we will do aliens.
When we do sci-fi, I'm fine with aliens. But
Yeah, we
not
have
at
to
this
do
point.
aliens.
Yeah, of course.
I
But
feel like
not today.
I feel like completely writing off aliens like takes away the very, very, very good, very, very, very funny like 50s plot of like maybe it's aliens, but then it's totally not aliens. But then at the very end, we see like a flying saucer, and we're like, wait a minute, could it have been aliens? And that's a
See,
joke.
but now you spoil it.
Listen, okay. Here's what I like. I like the idea of people believing in aliens.
Yes, I do like that.
I don't like the idea of there being proof in this world of whether aliens are real or not, because I feel like our main focus overall has been the magical. And
Yeah.
not to say
I
that
agree.
that you can't mix the two, but I feel like we're leaving pretty heavily in one direction.
Sure.
I mean, we do have robots, and so I think that there is going to be a whole mad science like faction. So I think there's going to be a bit of weird science, but yeah, like not leaning into aliens is something I'm totally cool with.
More Hellboy, less Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Sure, yeah, I can get it.
Yeah. All right, cool. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Any other monsters we want to say? Establish before we go into it. Fairies?
Werewolves are.
I mean,
yeah.
we have werewolves, we have vampires.
I'm good with that, honestly.
Yeah. Like
Alright.
the basic, like the standard array for a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
They're all there.
Slutty
We got
nurse.
mummies.
My favorite
Yeah,
monster.
Slutty Nurse.
Mhm. Well, that's Silent Hill.
Yeah, Silent Hill, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Slutty Nurse.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to establish that and make sure that's known. Good, cool. Let me just run down the list of factions that we have in the city. Blades in the Dark is a very factional game. It's a very sandboxy game. I forgot to put in some of these faction descriptions. Let me open up my faction document.
Are all of these like our factions, or are they just factions that were already there?
These are factions that exist within the city.
Okay.
What do you mean? What do you mean our factions?
Factions are like, because there's like sample factions in the playbook, right?
Yeah. These ones are all ones that I made or you made.
Okay. Something is happening with Roll20.
Oh no. Roll20, what are you doing?
So there's like a Ghost of the Rules reference that I cannot do anything but move around. I'm being haunted, and I'm gonna just reload.
Oh yeah, like it might like be like showing something on your like it's like just overlaid over your. Yeah, that happens to me sometimes. I just usually just refreshing the page works.
Yeah, I've refreshed. I'm gonna check now. Where were the factions again?
In the journal, there's a tab that says Fortune City Factions.
Okay. Yes, got it.
There are this, and I believe this is still less than there are in actual Blades in the Dark.
Do we have to go through all of these?
I'm not going to read the descriptions, but I'm going to say all of them.
All right, cool.
So we have.
Where are mine?
There
they are.
In the Fringe.
Oh yeah. Yep, that tracks.
Yeah. So in the Underworld, we have Emerald Security, who are private police. They are spooky kind of men in black, who they work for the city ostensibly. They're like, they disappear people sometimes, maybe. There's the Concerned Citizens Alliance. That is the Old Money District's neighborhood watch. But like the worst version of that. I mean, and neighborhood watches can be shitty on there as well, because like it's a very classist like potential, and this is that turned up to 11. There's the Iblis Lounge, or the Iblis Lounge, which is it's a lounge in the entertainment district, as well as a society of socialites and debutantes of the upper crust who do weird magic shit. There's the Pack, who is the one of the biggest mobs in the city. They own a lot of casinos. They're the Pack. They are werewolves. One of our characters is connected to them. There's Mr. Paradise, who owns a casino and also owns a speakeasy somewhere in the city. If you know, you know. He's a weird information broker. There's La Famille de Sang. They are hematologists, morticians, and surgeons with old money ties and strange appetites. You can probably figure out what they're about. They also own a casino. Problem Solvers Incorporated, the Chromios, Macmillan's Gym, the Butcher's Row Gang, the Royce Hunting Club. That's another Old Money District group. Fortune's Favor, the Royce Hunting Club. They hunt. Fortune's Favor. They are these sports gamblers that Emily mentioned earlier. They are back alley gambling houses. The Stalwart Moving Company, the Birdies. They are those car driving boys that were mentioned. The rich car drivers. That's those guys. The Ice Picks are a new gang. The Dominoes are vigilantes who wear masks. They are superheroes. They're not actually superheroes. They're like Green Hornet types.
Sure.
Are they P5? Persona 5?
Not as much.
Okay.
They like drive around and like fist fight bad guys.
Is that not what Persona 5 does?
No, you're the bad guy in Persona 5.
They don't have the superpowers that the Persona students have. The institution there is the Central Directorate. They run the city. They are the administrative. They run the administrative office. There's the Quinton Peacekeeper Company. Those are the cops. They are also called Quints or Fivers. They are a private security company that has been organized as a police force for the city. All of the institutions of the city are privatized because it's all very like hyper capitalist in the worst ways. Hargrave Penitentiary is the private prison. Dixon Millennium Studios controls both the news and entertainment. Tomorrow University is a kind of like a magnet school that funnels people into the various industries of Fortune City. They've got like a lot of programs designed to just put people to work in the infrastructure. The Vice Regulation and Enforcement Division, they are the branch of the peacekeepers who handle the entertainment district as well as paranormal stuff. So they're like your magic cops, and they also like make sure that the mobs keep within the lines as much as they can. They are a smaller faction than several of the mobs, so they can't do much. There's the Hanson Fire Brigade. They're the fire department.
Wait. So the Vice Division is like legal magicians.
I don't know that they do magic.
Oh, okay. Okay. They're cops for magic. They're not magic cops.
They handle paranormal stuff because, so many times someone's like, I saw a wizard. And they're like, all right, this guy is on drugs or something. Send the Vice guys to deal with it. And then it just came to be that the Vice guys dealt with weird stuff.
Okay. That's my guy.
That's your guy. I'm leaving that door open that some of them might have supernatural abilities as well. But as a whole, Hanson Fire Brigade, they have jetpacks to fight fires with.
Nice.
Noble Department of Agriculture and Resource, they're called the Noble Department. Noble is actually the name of the CEO. They're not actually noble, but they handle the farming and distribution of resources within the city. Wilkes Water Power controls the piping, electrical, and sewer cities, as well as holds the city reservoir. Not Pants on Fire Brigade, the Hanson.
Okay, because I was like, that's so ironic that they fight fires.
While their pants are on fire.
Yes. Within the labor and trade factions, there is Fortune Industry, that is the backbone of the city's infrastructure. They are the big dogs. They are run posthumously by Harrison Morrow and a board of directors. Advancement Incorporated, they are the new dogs on the street. That's one of Nikita's. They are a robotics and tech corporation. We'll hear about them in a bit. Hephaestus United handles the construction infrastructure and like repairing stuff. They are the ones who have mechs, kind of. They have like big like construction robots. Granville Freight and Post is the couriers and postal system. The Bureau of Mementos make mementos, souvenirs, and like they are like this with the Dixon Millennium. They make people want to move here. Is their job. The White Glove are like the eyes and ears. They're maids and butlers and like an information network, kind of. The Fortune City Starlight is an independent newspaper presenting an alternative to the Dixon Millennium City Review. That's an independent newspaper. Rail and Rubber, or Rogers and Rogers Conveyance, runs and maintains the public transit system. There's so many. Within the fringe, there is the Church of Tranquility, which is a New Age religion about a calm mind. They are weird. There is Apparitions Anonymous, which is all the ghosts who have found their way to Fortune City. A lot of ghosts come to Fortune City, and they don't know why. That's an important thing.
Ruh-roh.
Mm-hmm. Mysteries. There is Operation Whole Truth, which is a pirate radio station. They might do some like intros or something. They are like, we'll tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. As opposed to Dixon Millennium, which will shovel propaganda at you. There's the Book Club, who is one of Mari's. They are witches. There's the Mainstream Club, which is one of Nikita's. They are inventors. Cryptoanthropologists are Ghostbusters. Private,
that's also mine.
Also Mari's. And that is all of them. And
I've forgotten all the things you just said already.
Yep. In one ear and out the other.
That's okay. Someone's going to be listening. But let's talk about the ones that are important, the ones that are connected to you.
Should we do this while we talk about our characters?
We could.
Should we introduce our characters and then introduce like the factions since they're related?
That's up to you. What should you prefer? I imagine you're all raring to talk about your characters, huh?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, we can talk about your characters. Let's talk about your characters. I just said a bunch of things very quickly. Now let's zoom in and talk about your characters. Who would like to go first?
I mean, I would, but I don't know if I should. But I'm very excited.
I'll go first.
All right.
Because I'm playing a detective in the detective game. My character's name is Theodore Sinclair, except he would prefer to be called Theo. And his character playbook is the Hound. He is from an old money background, but he does not live in the old money district right now for reasons. And he was in the hunting club, I suppose. Probably
yes.
as like a teen, was like brought up, like taught to hunt, and now he's an adult and he doesn't he's not an active go out and hunt with those guys kind of boy because they all suck.
Mm-hmm.
But he has guns and he has a pet, which is a really big cat. This is the best part of the character. The whole character is just a vehicle for this cat. It's like a serval, like a melanistic serval, so a black skinny cat, except those are pretty small, so it's like a black skinny serval that's like the size of a big dog.
Okay.
And it's a good hunting friend.
I figured servals were pretty big because their legs be so long.
No, they're not that big. I mean, they're a big cat, but they're not like a lion sort of big. They're like a small dog, I think. So it's like bigger. Because I wanted the vibe of a Irish wolfhound, like big lanky dog, but cat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I dig it.
Yes. What else do I have to talk about for characters? So I have to go over my whole character sheet?
If you want to, if we can go through your character, well, we can probably because we haven't filled out the character sheets yet.
No.
If we want to just start with your basic description of your stuff, and then we can go back around because we've got like a whole sheet that we go through to build your characters.
Okay.
That we can all go through together.
All right.
Hell yes. Please hold my hand through this.
Oh god, yeah, me too. So I just realized, so it's got like name, Theo Sinclair. Look, I wrote big. I just wrote big. He's a tall, strong-looking boy. For like look, I was at the time when I was first thinking about him, I just watched all of Full Metal Alchemist, and so I wanted to have him to have like tan skin and light hair, like the people. Yes, like Scar. Yes, like Scar. Kind of like that kind of vibe. But he's just a big, tall boy. Old money. His background is noble. Do we say our vices, or is that like later?
If you want, you can say it now, or you can leave it till later.
I'll do it.
Have it yet? All right, no worries.
And he has a lot of he has guns. He has a fine pair of pistols and a fine long rifle and tools.
All right. Cool. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All right. Take it away.
I am playing Marge Devlin. She is 76 years old. She is...
How much is that in dog years?
Well... She's a werewolf, because she formerly was a fixer for the pack, which is, by the way, the full name for the pack is the Organized Packs of McCarrick, Donahue, and Coonan.
Good name.
Thank you. But the colloquially known as the pack, they used to be separate, crime families, but they merged together, so that they could, get more money and do more crimes and stop killing each other. And that's worked pretty well for them so far. Marge grew up in Chicago, and, as a young woman, she got kind of involved with the head of operations in Chicago, which is Aphie Coonan. She proved herself as very valuable, mostly because of her proponents for, violence and her intimidating sort of steely veneer. But and she was a very loyal, foot soldier and fixer for the pack for many, many, many years. But as time went on, being someone who fights and beats people up for a living is kind of taxing on your body. So as time went on, she's been slowing down a bit. And because of this, she sort of fell out of a bit of favor with Aphie because, Aphie started to be like, can I really trust Marge to be able to pick it up? So she got sent to Fortune City, to basically watch over and, be a advisor to Mickey Sullivan, who heads the pack in, Fortune City. However, something happened. A lot happened, I suppose. But eventually Marge decided, I'm too old for this shit. I gotta get out. Obviously, that's not a very easy thing when you are working with the pack. But somehow Marge did manage to cut some ties with the pack, although there's a lot of bad blood between her and the rest of the, werewolf mafia in Fortune City. Oh, by the way, while I'm talking about this, I had the idea of lycanthropy being something. Okay, so basically, this is obviously it's an Irish mafia, but I'm basing them very heavily off of the, historically Italian mafia families in the United States. So there are rules that only Irish people can be made, like a made man. There's a code of silence. You never talk to authorities. You can't talk about family business to non-members. If another family member is killed by a member, nobody can commit murder and revenge unless the boss gives permission. You can't fight among members unless the boss gives permission, with the exception of revelries, which is the full moon. All of the werewolf members of the mafia transform, and that's the time when you can. It's kind of like the Purge, but for the mafia, you can kind of do whatever you want. No holds barred, no rules for that, because it's time for us to kind of go wild and let our wolf side out. And I also thought
you're not supposed to kill, right? I remember reading that.
You're not supposed to kill other family members, but other victims who aren't part of the family, fair game.
Okay.
Also, I thought that regarding how you become a werewolf, I thought that it would be cool if you become a werewolf when you're made. That's part of the initiation into being a made man in the mafia is to be bitten and, get inflicted with lycanthropy. So it's like a gift that you're given from the mafia. So Marge was made, and that's when she became a werewolf, but she wasn't born a werewolf.
And one question I did have about, because obviously that's, you get made as a werewolf. Does that mean lycanthropy is not hereditary?
Yeah, so I was thinking that was the case. I'm willing to bend on that because if we want to have non-mafia werewolves, I'm okay with that. But that was my thoughts were that it was specifically controlled.
Mm-hmm. For sure, and I definitely understand the end value. I just didn't know if we wanted to leave that open, that the possibility of there being non-mafia werewolves, like you, maybe elsewhere, or if it was just if we wanted to be very clear.
Well, I figure that there can definitely, because yes, you are bitten when you're made, but that doesn't necessarily mean that nobody's ever bitten somebody and they've gotten away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did have there's like an allied faction to the pack who might also just be made up of pack members, that's the McMillan's boxing gym.
Ooh, I like that. Mm-hmm. Just to round off Marge's sort of backstory,
sure.
after Marge was managed to get out of the mafia, she's destitute and she's got a bit of a gambling streak, so she needs money, and she is an
Money.
employee of Theo.
Yes.
So she uses her former skills as a fixer to now be a private investigator.
Yes, she works for Theodore.
I forgot to say his whole shit about being a detective. Do you want me to say it, and then we'll go back and put it where it should be?
Yes, absolutely. I also had some questions about the Sinclair family
Yes.
because I don't have a lot of details about them.
Yeah.
I would like specifically to know, one, if they're a crime family or just just rich. Though, I mean, a lot of rich people are crooks anyway. Explicitly criminals, I suppose. Overtly criminals.
I think I was thinking more like they don't need to be criminals because they are very rich. Like they don't need to get, but also the rich people never have enough money, so they probably do rich people kind of crimes where they like bribe a politician to do something that will be in their favor. But they're not like out there like, I don't think they're out there doing normal crime. If they're doing anything like else shady, like if Theo's dad is in the picture, I don't think if he's doing anything shady, Theo knows about it. So I have not truly thought about it. So that's open to you if you want to be like, I need somebody to do something bad. He's out there. I haven't named him, but we can think about that. Theo has a sister whose name is Tilda. She's just kind of like, I don't know if anyone's seen Dynasty, but Fallon Carrington from Dynasty, like the new version, where she's like business minded and mean, and she is full like Theo has left the old money lifestyle because he's kind of idealistic and he wanted to go out and help people and be a detective, so he's come and set up a detective agency it's in the working district, right? Is that what we're saying?
It definitely could be. We hadn't explicitly said, but it would make sense for that to be the
wherever
case.
it is, he set it up there, and but his sister is like full like. Yeah, they're not because they're twins, because of course they're not fighting necessarily, but they definitely don't agree with each other's lifestyles. Yeah, and so
just as a couple of things, I don't know if Theo has like a brother or anyone else. I did have a Sinclair listed in my notes for the hunting club.
Oh,
I didn't have any details about them.
Probably,
but I figured that...
probably his dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like taught him to hunt.
And then maybe also in the Concerned Citizens Alliance.
That can be his sister.
Okay.
Let her she can be out there being shitty in the Citizens Watch.
And so is it just those few family members, or do you have a lot of family members?
I think he's got a lot of like, lots of like uncles and cousins and stuff, but like his like direct family is pretty small, like dad, sister. I truly have not thought about his mum that much, but maybe she's actually. I was gonna not have her, but then I realized I did that with the last time with just having a single parent. So maybe his mum is actually in the Citizens Watch, and Tilda is just fun.
Okay, so she's not. I actually, funnily enough, I wrote Sinclair matriarch into that slot in the Citizens Watch.
Oh, good, yeah.
And I was going to change it because you said otherwise, but if you like that, then I'll keep it.
No, that's good. Because then
does Tilda have a?
No, go for it.
I was going to ask if Tilda had a job.
No.
No
job.
job.
Her job is to throw cool parties and like drive around. Okay. Like she's very entitled.
Okay, cool. Because I remember you did draw her once, and she was like wearing a pantsuit.
Yeah, so she just likes to dress like that.
Okay, so are the Sinclairs engaged in any industry or commercial stuff?
Well, I didn't know.
Just rich?
I didn't know what industries I could have them engaged with that wouldn't be sort of stepping on any. Like that's like I didn't want them to be too into crime because that's sort of other people are into crime. So, what kind of businesses could they be involved in? Actually, let me look at the map real quick.
Could be, and I don't know how realistic this is considering what the city is, but could be like, they could be like landowners, like landlords, like building and selling shit.
I have a
Landlords
question.
is definitely a thing. All landlords are evil, yes.
I have a question. Who is Wilkes?
Wilkes Water and Power. They run the water and the power systems in the city.
Is that like a family?
It is owned. I mean, it's a company.
Yeah,
but it is run by a man named Casper Wilkes.
Mm-hmm.
It is named for a person's name.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, can that be like Theo's mum's maiden name?
That definitely could be if you want to be married into the power infrastructure, the electrical and
yes.
hydro.
Yes.
I can't believe you're just doing Carrington Atlantic.
Yes, I am.
There's also, it could be like, like fashion or also, like owning.
No, I want them to be like they are very rich and then they like power. So I think being like maybe next in line to run the water and power or something after that guy dies, would be fun. And then I think his dad is maybe, just like a landowner.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Sinclair Holdings Syndicated or something.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
And
right.
Tilda throws Gatsby parties.
Tilda knows
Yes.
party. And maybe she's involved in like the Iblis Lounge, which is like all rich people who throw weird parties.
Yeah, that seems fun.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yes. What?
They're all what?
Rich people who throw weird parties.
Okay. I heard
Lounge?
Witch people, and I was like, wait, hang on a minute. That's my territory.
Well,
My city.
They do engage in occult rituals and black market trade of strange artifacts, but like in a very hedonistic, bougie way.
Is it kind of like
Okay.
when people in England were like really into doing seances?
Absolutely, 100% exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
That is like the first level of the Iblis Lounge is like, let's speak to the spirits. Let's contact.
But like it's like a con man probably.
Yeah.
Tilda busts out a Ouija board.
Yeah.
That's fucking why all the ghosts are drawn here, because they keep getting calls.
Hey,
What's
you
going
up?
on?
Winky face.
Entertain us, spirits. We're bored.
Yeah, imagine the spirits being like, I don't know why I'm here. Are you fucking serious? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You gotta call on yourself.
Hell, maybe that's why they're so like they love it so much is because they keep getting answers.
Well, thank you for working through his family with me because I had not really thought about them that much. I was just like, yeah, they out there.
They out there. It's good. Like I said, Blades is set up to be very sandboxy, so it's good to have a lot of movers in place.
All right. I love them.
I
will. Yeah, I think so. Unless you can think of anything else. Any other questions?
None at the moment.
All right. I will think of names for his parents at some point.
Cool. All right. Who wants to go next? We got the weird ones now. Well, I guess they're all weirdos.
I
Thank you.
wanna elect Mari because I think it would work better if I can play off.
I could go next.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, Loic Luck is he's a real fake medium.
Okay.
He's a fake medium for his job, but he's a real medium for his life. It just happened to him. I guess his actual classification is like a witch.
Okay.
So I wrote down a few of the adjectives that were on the list. I wrote down brooding because there's nothing like close to taciturn, delicate, and wiry. And in parentheses I wrote striking because he has like very bright, very red eyes, but he's like constantly has he has like these green tinted sunglasses because fun color theory lesson. if you mix colors on the opposite of the color wheel, it just turns into gray. And, you know, nobody can see his weird eyes because they're weird. And they mark him as like a witch.
Wait, what's his eye color again?
They're red.
Uh-huh. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. They're very bright red. He's like dark skinned and he's got like real messy dark hair and like a bun. And so I wrote so much about every single NPC and every faction, and I wrote in parentheses in this document, write stuff about Loic here later. So
Listen,
it's
the
later
holidays, stuff happens.
And now it's later. So he comes from like the book club, which is like the witch gathering place. His adoptive mom is a witch. Her name is Anathema Look. She's like, the touchstone that I put for her is like Old Sophie and Miss Frizzle. Okay. So she's just a lot of things at once. The touchstones for Loic, by the way, are Natsume from Natsume Yujincho, Watanuki from XXXholic, Reagan from Op Psycho, and Herman Gottlieb from Pacific Rim. So he's a real blend of things.
Real blend, just
a real blend of things.
It's a cocktail, you know. It's like Vegas. We're mixing it up.
Yeah. Anyway, his job is pretending to talk to ghosts for money, and then he gets home and he actually talks to ghosts and he hates it. But also, he's like, I feel like he feels the need to protect ghosts, even though they don't need protecting.
He's
an
ally.
Yeah, he's an ally.
Ghost
Hashtag
ally.
ghost rights.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. He has a fine lightning hook, I'm pretty sure.
He does. We don't know what that means yet, but we'll...
No, I have no idea what that means. That's so exciting.
You gotta read your whisper section. Oh, and so Loic is the whisper.
Yes,
or is
right,
a
he's
whisper.
a whisper.
A whisper, in Blades in the Dark, a whisper is like is someone who is good at channeling the arcane. One thing in Blades of the Dark is that everyone can attune to the ghost field. So like a whisper is not someone who can attune, but someone who is specifically good at it.
Yeah.
I don't know how common it is. I mean, to talk to like attune to the ghost field in Fortune City, but you're still like cream of the crop.
Yeah, I feel like there's a difference between like doing like a shitty fancy party seance and like seeing like a vase fall or whatever and hearing whispers and stuff and like actually seeing and talking to ghosts normally.
It's like
as people.
Like maybe can Loic turn it off?
No, he cannot.
No, see that would be the difference. Like people have to actively do it, and Loic can't turn it off.
That sounds like your first ability might be Ghost Mind then, which is you are always aware of supernatural entities.
That's fun.
That might fit in narratively, like mechanically, with what you've established narratively.
Yeah.
We just wanted to set that in. All right, cool.
Cool.
Fake psychic, real psychic, always the best, like funnest dichotomy.
Yeah. He's hidden in plain sight. No one would suspect.
Have we established that magic is like illegal?
Oh yeah, magic is illegal.
Yeah. It's probably like as illegal as it is like real magic is in the real world, in the sense that like a lot of people don't know about it or believe in it. But I guess for the people in the know are like, don't do that, right?
I mean, I'm not magic. Right?
Sorry.
That's fair.
What was the question? Sorry, what was the question?
I said that like a lot of people still like don't know about it, but for the people who do know about it, they're like,
yes,
stop, don't.
Yeah. There's like that one faction that you were like, these people deal with the magic people. It's because they're illegal. They have to deal with them. But it's not a common thing. Maybe some person like saw a ghost once and was like, whoa, a ghost, but it's not like everyone knows that ghosts are real, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Also, Loic lives in the apartment under Theo.
Yes, and that is how you met.
Yes.
Is that you?
Well, they met before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this some backstory?
I don't know if you should get into it now. They were like childhood friends.
Oh, shit. Okay. I didn't know this. I'm glad
I
to
love
know
it.
Shit, did we forget?
We forgot to mention it. They were childhood friends. It broke bad. So Loic hates Theo now.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
Make it hard,
And then-
make it hard to work together.
Theo had to find
that's
an
okay.
office.
Marge hates Loic for sure. Marge for sure hates Loic.
That's
Ghosts are fucking horrible when you're a fixer. I kill people so that they shut up. You guys bring them back.
Maybe stop killing people.
Pass.
Sounds fake.
Theo doesn't hate Loic, so when he was looking for an office, he was like, "Oh, I know that guy. I'm gonna get this one, this apartment."
Oh god, that's my nightmare.
Yeah,
You just described my nightmare. Someone
Here's
like
my
some
childhood best friend / enemy, and I'm gonna get an apartment right next to him
yeah,
so I can torment him.
yeah.
Very good.
Very gay.
yeah.
That's it.
Oh, really? I couldn't tell.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell us about Loic before we move on to our final crew member?
No, the fun stuff I have is of factions.
Okay.
You want to talk more about the factions?
Yeah.
Afterwards, right?
We can intersperse it as much as we like. Emily's description involved a lot of faction description, and in some cases, so did Sloan's talking about the Sinclair family. So, if you want to tell us about the book club right now,
Yeah, the book club is, so here's what I wrote down. It's a loose gathering of magic users who call themselves witches, primarily made up of women. They're really into, like, natural remedies and incense and, like, dressing in a lot of layers. Oh, by the way, Loic steals all his clothes and, like, thrifts them, so none of them fit, and none of them are fashionable. But they kind of look like fashion anyway. Like, he's avant-garde.
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah. So the book club is not an organized group so much as a casual meeting of like-minded people. They have a vague common goal of trying to clear up the bad rep supernatural beings get, but they don't seem to have made much progress. They meet Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh wow.
And then you do
so into it.
That is the most murder, arson, and jaywalking like detail I've ever heard.
You do have a
They have
second
a dark past.
slightly
Karen
connected
brings the orange
faction.
juice.
I have a what?
A second connected faction in the
Yes.
cryptoanthropologists.
Right, so the cryptoanthropologists are the Ghostbusters, but here's what I wrote down for them. They're a fringe group dedicated to finding, containing, and exterminating ghosts and other supernatural creatures. Very few of them possess paranormal abilities, and none very strong, but they make up for it for ghost tracking paraphernalia a la Ghostbusters. They're considered conspiracy theorists and nutcases by the general population, but take themselves and their profession very seriously. Profession is in quotes.
Very good. I do have you gave me some archetypes for both of those characters. I didn't come up with names for most of them, but I did come up with one name. I don't know if you have named any of them yet.
Not yet.
But your friend, the one who talks to you, or friend, air quotes, that woman is named Dallas Davis. So if you want to
Dallas Davis?
Dallas Davis.
Nice.
Like the city, and then
Let me write it down.
Yes. You might want to put that in your contacts or friends, strange friends.
But is she... Oh, do I get to have more than one friend? Because I had a plan.
Or depending on who, but I mean, you can just write that down wherever it fits and works for you.
I'm just writing it on the doc for now. I'm gonna...
Cool.
Duh.
All right. So those are good write-ups. And I'm excited for all of those characters to come into play.
Yes.
All right, Nikita.
So I'm playing a vacuum cleaner that killed a man. And because I am a bastard, I am playing the Hull playbook. Which isn't something that, according to Blades in the Dark, you're supposed to start with. But I really wanted to be a vacuum cleaner, and no one stopped me.
You figured it out. You are playing the Hull. as if you had come to it from the Leech playbook. The Leech is the
Yes.
Tinkerer and like weird science class in Blades in the Dark. So you have the Leech items, and you started with the Leech dots in addition to your whole dots.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, unfortunately, you only have 2 dots to allocate as opposed to everyone's 4. But you also
I'm okay
have
with that.
stuff put in the spots that you probably would anyway.
Yeah, it's worth it. But okay, so basically the story here is Bailey Sarton was a shitty inventor, kind of, that lived in Belle Village. I think they previously attended the university. What's the Fortune University?
Tomorrow University.
Tomorrow University, there we go. For their background, I put roboticist and bastard because they sucked. They were awful. During their life, they were very cranky, very paranoid, very mean-spirited. And they were part of a little organization called the Mainspring Club. And, centered in Belle Village. It sprung up in the early years of the city. And it's basically like a bar and coffee shop. Like it's a coffee shop by day and a bar by night, but they kind of serve both all the time. And it's open pretty much 24/7, but kind of like the book club. But where the book club is for witches, this is less of a club and more like a loose network of inventors, mad scientists, tinkerers, hobbyists. And they come together to exchange notes, get advice, team up, and get references to like where to find materials that might be a little less legal than is legal. They also have a newsletter.
Yeah, there's a lot of synchronicity between these 2 weird fringe factions.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like aware of each other.
What's that dog got to say?
Yeah, and the main.
Oh, he's got to say that somebody is here. Let me real quick check on him, make sure that he's.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Man, I forgot to say my fucking playbook and like describe my character at all.
It's okay.
Go back
You can
and
say
say
it
it.
after
We'll
I
fix
say
it.
my character.
I didn't really talk about my factions, so we just gotta jump around.
Well, it's not fair. We had to go first, and these 2 chuckleheads got
Yeah,
to build on
I
our
was
mistakes.
really nervous, so I was like, he's gonna detective. He's a big detective.
Oh man, when you say big, are we talking like he's muscular or is it big boy season?
He's both.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's a big and muscular boy.
Hug bear.
I love it.
Cuts an intimidating figure.
He's a hardy, rowdy boy.
Who's taller, Marge or Theo?
Oh, I don't know. How tall is Marge?
Bailey, if they climb up onto the ceiling.
I so want to be the tallest.
No, you have to be the tallest, but I want him to be tall as well. They're both really tall.
All right. Okay, we're just both really tall.
Marge is like half an inch taller.
This is like every campaign I've played in the last 3 fucking years where everybody has a small competition to be the tallest and our fucking like height chart ends up being really sad looking.
No, like I do not.
Where it's like one person at 5 feet and everybody else at 6+.
Yep.
I do.
We did good in the first season.
I want Marge to be taller. That needs, because that's fun, because she's like his bodyguard. But I do want him to be tall as well. So he's
That's
like,
okay. Why don't I go with like 6 feet and you can be like 5'10"?
No, he has to be 6 foot.
Okay, fine. I'll be 6'3".
Yes.
How's that?
Thank
He's a
you.
very tall grandmother.
Yeah. Since we're definitely not cutting this part out, Marge is the cutter playbook, and she's she's old. And she's got white hair, very wrinkled. She wears like button-down shirts and ties and suspenders and stuff. Sort of like classic mobster looks.
Very good.
Except not suit jackets, because she's
Past
not really in the know. And her character claims are Big B Wolf and Mike Ehrmantraut.
Oh right, yes, Mike from the Breaking Badiverse.
Right.
who is the only part of those shows I've seen. Because I watched some compilations when you told me about him. Alright, sorry, I'm back. The dog was just mad because he was excited more than mad. Nikita, please continue your description of Bailey the Bastard.
Bailey the Bastard. Perfect. Bailey the Bastard vacuum cleaner. So, yeah, well, basically Bailey was a member of the Mainspring Club, and that was like their only social interaction. But they were working on tinkering with robots, and specifically the model that they picked was from Advancement Incorporated, and it was called the Daily. And the Daily is a little Hoover Constellation-like vacuum cleaner from, like, I don't have my notes up. I mean, I don't have those notes up, but it's like a 50s vacuum cleaner that's really cute looking. Oh, it's real cute. It's great. It can swivel. And because part of the hull playbook is that your hull has to be prepared for you. So Bailey accidentally ended up preparing their own hull while trying to do something else. And they were killed by a competitor who I don't know if I named. I didn't. They were killed by a mysterious competitor who then they later killed. I mean, upon their death, they ended up trapped in the vacuum cleaner. And then they killed their murderer. And then they kind of chilled for a while at like a diner until Theo found them.
Yeah.
Oh, Theo?
No,
like,
Loic.
Wait, no.
No, Theo Loic. Okay, I'm so bad with names. It's Loic.
That's okay.
Until Loic found them and was like, oh my god, I have to help this poor ghost trapped in a vacuum cleaner. And Bailey's like, I'm good, actually. But as a hull, instead of vices, I have functions, and I have 3 functions. And those are to destroy, discover, and labor at that which my master commands. But I don't know if we talked a lot about this. I'd also like it to be in part powered by like strong emotions that Bailey felt during their life. So instead of just being trapped by the hull, they're also kind of trapped by their death to be internally like unchanging and obsessive over very specific things. But, you know, orders from their master, which is Loic, kind of overrides that. Yeah. So I have moves, like I have hull traits, but I also have hull features, which is super fun. So I am a robot, a daily cleaning companion who can spider climb up walls and ceilings.
That's the important. That's your special ability. Your feature.
But they can't stand a chance against corners.
Well, they'll brave a corner if they have to.
You guys remember that one fucking Doctor Who where they run up the stairs and the Dalek is chasing them? They're like, oh, thank God we're safe. And then, like, the Dalek just starts flying up the stairs and they're, like, horrified.
Classic.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. Bailey loves to clean and destroy. And also just really wants to continue the work that they did when they were alive. That's pretty much it. That's all I got.
All right, cool.
I'll post pictures of Bailey later.
Yes, it's very good. Very good art.